Hello there, lovely friends. Welcome back to my channel. I'm absolutely thrilled that you've decided to join me today. It's always such a joy to connect with people who are eager to learn, grow, and transform their lives through language. Now, today's video is something truly special. It's close to my heart, deeply personal, and incredibly practical. We're diving into a topic that every English learner has wondered about at least once in their journey: how to speak English alone at home. Yes, you heard me right. No partner, no native speaker, no classroom, just you, your voice, and your determination. Sounds impossible? Trust me, it's not only possible but also one of the most powerful ways to improve your fluency. You might be thinking, Emily, how can I possibly speak English if I don't have anyone to practice with? Oh, I hear you. I completely understand because I was once exactly where you might be now. Unsure, shy, and constantly doubting whether I could ever sound confident or fluent. I didn't have anyone to talk to either. My family spoke our native language. My friends weren't into English. And moving to an English-speaking country wasn't an option. So what did I do? I turned to myself. Just me, in my little room, trying to talk to, well, myself. It felt awkward. Honestly, sometimes it even felt a bit funny. I remember standing in front of the mirror one day and saying, "Hi, my name is Emily, and I love tea." That was it. That was my big moment. Short, simple, and yes, a little weird. But here's the thing. I kept doing it every single day. And over time, something incredible happened. I started thinking in English, dreaming in English, and speaking more naturally than I ever thought possible. So, why am I sharing all this with you? Because I want you to know that you don't need perfect conditions to achieve your goals. You just need the right mindset and a few practical strategies to guide you. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to start speaking English confidently, all from the comfort of your own home. But before we dive in, grab yourself a drink, maybe a cup of tea or coffee, and get comfortable. This is going to be a journey, and I want you to feel relaxed and ready to absorb everything I'm about to share. Let's get started. When I first started learning English, I had no one to practice with, just a girl in her room, talking to herself. It felt awkward, funny even, but it worked wonders. Honestly, looking back, it's almost hard to believe how far I've come. At the time, though, it didn't feel like progress at all. I was just trying to survive. The survival of someone who desperately wanted to sound fluent but had no idea where to start. No partner, no native speaker, no classroom. Just me, my thoughts, and my determination. I remember standing in front of the mirror one day and saying, "Hi, my name is Emily, and I love tea." That was it. That was my big moment. Short, simple, and yes, a little silly. But you know what? That tiny act of courage became the foundation of everything that followed. I laughed at myself afterward because, let's be honest, talking to a mirror isn't exactly glamorous. But I kept doing it. Every day, I added a little more. I started describing what I was doing. I am brushing my teeth. I am making tea. I am sitting on the bed. I feel sleepy. I want to watch a movie. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't even close to perfect. But perfection wasn't the goal. Practice was. And over time, something amazing happened. Those small, awkward sentences turned into longer, more natural ones. I stopped translating in my head and started thinking directly in English. It was as if I had created my own little English-speaking world inside my room. A world where I was both the teacher and the student. If I can do it, trust me, you can too. Let me share my journey and show you how to create your own English-speaking world at home. A world where you're not afraid to make mistakes, where every sentence you speak, even the clumsy ones, is a step closer to fluency. Are you ready? Let's get started. Step 1. Stop waiting for someone else. The first step is simple but powerful. You stop waiting for someone else to come along. You don't need a partner or a classroom. All you need is you. Let me say that again because it's so important. You already have everything you need to start speaking English right now. No excuses, no delays. Just you, your voice, and your determination. Trust me, I've been there. I spent so much time thinking, if only I had someone to practice with, I'd be fluent by now. But guess what? The moment I stopped waiting and started speaking to myself, my progress skyrocketed. So how do you begin? Start small. Tiny steps lead to big changes. Say things like, I am brushing my teeth, or it's sunny outside. These tiny sentences might seem too simple, but they're the foundation of fluency. They help you break the silence. Get comfortable with hearing your own voice in English. And most importantly, build your confidence over time. For example, when I started, I used to narrate my morning routine. I am waking up. I am making my bed. I feel tired, but I will drink coffee. It felt strange at first, but soon it became natural. And here's the best part. Those small sentences gave me the courage to try longer ones. Before I knew it, I was describing entire events like, yesterday I went to the park, it was windy, but I enjoyed walking under the trees. Hey, remember, fluency isn't about starting with perfect sentences. It's about starting somewhere. So today, I want you to pick one activity, brushing your teeth, making tea, or even looking out the window, and describe it in English. Just one sentence. That's it. Tomorrow, add another. Over time, these small efforts will grow into something amazing. And don't worry if you make mistakes. Mistakes are not your enemy. They're proof that you're trying. Every time you speak, even if it's just a tiny sentence, you're one step closer to your goal. So stop waiting. Start speaking. And let's take this journey together. Step 2. Create an English world around you. Turn your everyday life into an English class. Talk about everything you see and do. This is one of the most powerful ways to immerse yourself in the language without leaving your home. Trust me, it works like magic. Let me explain how I did it. When I started learning English, I realized that my biggest problem wasn't grammar or vocabulary, it was silence. I wasn't speaking enough. So, I decided to turn my daily routine into a constant English practice session. Everything I did, I described out loud in English. It felt strange at first, but soon it became second nature. For example, when I was cooking, I'd say things like, I'm chopping onions. They make my eyes water. Now I'm adding salt to the soup, just a pinch. The pasta is boiling. I hope it doesn't overcook. Cooking became more than just making food. It became my English-speaking time. And guess what? Over time, I didn't have to think hard about what to say. The words just came naturally. When I went for a walk, I'd describe the weather or the things around me. It's cloudy today. Maybe it'll rain later. Look at those trees. They're so tall and green. I can hear birds chirping. It's such a peaceful sound. Even simple actions like brushing my teeth or making my bed became opportunities to speak English. I'm brushing my teeth. They feel clean now. I'm making my bed. It looks tidy. The key here is consistency. You don't need long sentences or perfect grammar. Just start small and build from there. For instance, if you're drinking tea, say, this tea is hot. Then add more, this tea is hot, but it tastes amazing. And then even more, this tea is hot, but it tastes amazing because I added honey and lemon. See how easy it is? Every tiny sentence is a step forward. Over time, these little efforts will add up and you'll find yourself speaking longer, more natural sentences without even realizing it. Another thing I used to do was narrate my emotions. If I felt happy, I'd say, "I'm feeling really happy today. I had a great morning." If I felt tired, I'd say, "I'm feeling a bit sleepy. I think I'll take a nap." Talking about your feelings in English helps you connect with the language on a deeper level. It's not just about describing objects or actions. It's about expressing who you are. And don't worry if you make mistakes. Mistakes are part of the process. The goal isn't perfection. It's progress. Every time you speak, you're training your brain to think in English. And that's where real fluency begins. So, here's your challenge for this step. Start turning your everyday life into an English-speaking playground. Cook, clean, walk, or relax, whatever you do. Talk about it in English. Even if it feels silly at first, keep going. Remember, no one is watching or judging you. Use this time to build your confidence and make English a natural part of your life. Step 3. Mirror practice. Stand in front of the mirror every night and talk to yourself for 5 minutes. Describe your day, your dreams, or your feelings. This is one of the most powerful tools you can use to build confidence and fluency. Let me tell you why mirror practice works so well. When you look at yourself while speaking, you become more aware of your body language, facial expressions, and tone, all things that are essential for real communication. It's not just about the words you say, it's about how you say them. Your mirror doesn't judge you. It just shows you you. And that's all you need to start feeling comfortable with your own voice. Here's what I used to do every night. I'd stand in front of my mirror, take a deep breath, and speak for 5 minutes. Sometimes I'd talk about my day. Today was busy, but I managed to finish my work. I had a meeting this morning, and I think it went well. Other times, I'd talk about my dreams. I want to travel to London next year. I've always loved the idea of exploring a new city. Someday, I want to work in a place where English is important. And sometimes I just share my feelings. I'm feeling a bit tired today, but I'm proud of myself for practicing English. I watched a movie last night. It made me laugh so much. The key here is consistency. It doesn't matter if your sentences are short or simple. What matters is that you're speaking, listening to yourself, and becoming more comfortable with the sound of your own voice in English. For example, you could say something like this. Today was busy, but I managed to finish my work. Tomorrow I want to cook pasta for dinner. Then add more. I think I'll make a salad too. Maybe I'll invite a friend over. See how easy it is? You're not just practicing grammar or vocabulary. You're building the ability to express yourself naturally. Over time, these small efforts will help you feel more confident and fluent. Another thing I love about mirror practice is that it helps you spot areas for improvement. Maybe you notice that your tone sounds flat, or you hesitate too often. That's okay. Every time you identify something to work on, you're one step closer to mastering it. For instance, if you realize you're pausing too much, try slowing down and organizing your thoughts before you speak. If you notice your expressions don't match your words, practice smiling or using gestures to make your speech more engaging. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. You don't need to sound like a native speaker right away. Just focus on speaking clearly, confidently, and authentically. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. So, here's your challenge for this step. Tonight, stand in front of your mirror and talk to yourself for 5 minutes. Describe your day, share your dreams, or express your feelings. Don't worry if it feels awkward at first. That's completely normal. Keep going, and soon you'll start noticing a difference in how you sound and how you feel about speaking English. Step 4. Shadowing native speakers. Find a short clip from a movie or YouTube video. Listen carefully and repeat after them. Copy their tone, speed, and pauses. This is one of the most powerful techniques to sound natural and fluent in English. Let me explain why shadowing works so well. When you listen to native speakers and mimic their speech, you're not just learning words, you're learning how they sound, how they pause, and how they express emotions. It's like training your ears, tongue, and brain to work together in perfect harmony. And the best part? You don't need anyone else to do it. Just you, your favorite clip, and your willingness to try. Here's how I did it. I used to pick short clips from movies, interviews, or even YouTube videos. One of my all-time favorites was a scene from Notting Hill. The character says, "Bookshop owner meets Hollywood star. What could possibly go wrong?" I'd listen to it a few times, then pause and repeat exactly what they said. I didn't just focus on the words, I also copied their tone, speed, and pauses. Sometimes I'd even record myself and compare it to the original. At first, it felt a bit silly, but over time, I started sounding more natural and confident. You can try this with any clip you love. For example, if you watch a cooking tutorial, the chef might say, "Now we're adding garlic. Make sure it doesn't burn." Listen carefully, then repeat it out loud. Try to match their rhythm and emotion. If they sound excited, you sound excited. If they pause dramatically, you pause too. This helps you internalize the flow of natural English. Another thing I love about shadowing is that it trains your brain to process language faster. When you repeat after native speakers, you're teaching yourself to think and speak in English without translating in your head. Over time, this makes you more fluent and spontaneous. And don't worry if you don't get it perfect the first time. Shadowing is about progress, not perfection. Maybe you'll stumble on a tricky word or miss a pause. That's okay. Every time you practice, you're getting closer to sounding like a native speaker. For example, let's say you're watching a travel vlog, and the host says, "This place is absolutely breathtaking. Look at those mountains, they're stunning." Pause the video and repeat it. Add your own twist if you want. "This place is beautiful. Look at those trees, they're amazing." See how easy it is? You're not just repeating, you're adapting and making it your own. Over time, these small efforts will help you sound more natural and confident. So, here's your challenge for this step. Find a short clip, a movie scene, a YouTube video, or even a podcast, and practice shadowing. Listen carefully, repeat after them, and copy their tone, speed, and pauses. Record yourself if you want, and compare it to the original. Trust me, it's fun, and you'll start noticing a difference in how you sound. Step 5. Spoken Diary. Record yourself speaking for 2-3 minutes every night. Talk about your day, your emotions, or your plans. This is one of the most personal and effective ways to practice English alone. Let me tell you why keeping a spoken diary works so well. When you record yourself, you're not just practicing speaking. You're creating a safe space to express yourself freely. No one is listening or judging you. It's just you, your voice, and your thoughts. Over time, this habit builds confidence and helps you notice areas where you can improve. Here's how I did it. Every night before bed, I'd grab my phone, open the voice recorder app, and talk for 2-3 minutes. Sometimes I'd share how my day went. Today was busy, but I managed to finish my work. I'm proud of myself for staying focused. Other times, I'd talk about my emotions. Today, I felt a bit tired, but I watched a comedy show that made me laugh. I'm grateful for these little joys. And sometimes I'd share my plans for the next day. Tomorrow, I want to cook pasta for dinner. Maybe I'll invite a friend over. The key here is consistency. You don't need to plan what you're going to say, just speak naturally, as if you're talking to a close friend. If you make mistakes, stumble, or pause, that's perfectly okay. Those moments are part of the learning process. In fact, they're gold because they show you exactly what to work on next. For example, let's say you're recording your spoken diary and you say, "Today I go to the park." Later, when you listen to the recording, you might realize that "I go" should have been "I went." That's a win. You've identified an area to focus on, and the next time you record, you'll do better. Another thing I love about spoken diaries is that they help you track your progress. When I first started, my sentences were short and simple. "Today was good, I ate pizza." But over time, they became longer and more detailed. "Today was amazing. I ordered a pepperoni pizza, and it tasted so good. I shared it with my family, and we laughed a lot." Hearing those changes in my recordings gave me so much motivation to keep going. It reminded me that progress doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen if you stay consistent. So, here's your challenge for this step. Tonight, record yourself speaking for 2 to 3 minutes. Talk about your day, your feelings, or your plans. Don't worry about making mistakes, just focus on expressing yourself. Save the recording and listen to it later. Notice what you did well and what you want to improve. Over time, you'll start seeing and hearing the difference. Step 6. Pretend phone calls. Pretend you're on a phone call with a friend. Walk around the room and have conversations out loud. This is one of the most fun and practical ways to practice real-life English speaking skills, all by yourself. Let me explain why this works so well. When you pretend to have a phone call, you're not just practicing random sentences, you're practicing how people actually talk in everyday life. You're building fluency in natural, spontaneous conversations. And the best part? You can do it anywhere, anytime, without needing anyone else. Here's how I used to do it. I'd walk around my room, hold an imaginary phone, or even a real one if it made me feel more comfortable, and start talking as if I were chatting with a friend. For example, "Hey, how are you?" "Oh, really? That's amazing. I watched a film last night. It was fantastic." Sometimes I'd pretend I was calling to make plans. "Hi, do you want to grab coffee tomorrow? There's a new cafe near my house." Other times, I'd act like I was catching up with someone. "How was your weekend? Did you do anything fun?" And occasionally, I'd even role-play tricky or formal situations like calling customer service. "Hello, I'm having trouble with my internet connection. Can you help me fix it?" The key here is to make it feel real. Walk around the room, change your tone, and respond to imaginary replies. For example, if you ask, "How was your weekend?" Pause for a moment, then say something like, "Oh, that sounds fun. I went hiking too. The weather was perfect." This technique helps you practice turn-taking, which is essential for real conversations. It also builds confidence because you're rehearsing how to respond naturally, even in situations where you might feel nervous. Another thing I love about pretend phone calls is that they help you overcome self-consciousness. At first, it might feel a bit silly to talk to yourself like this, but trust me, once you get into it, it becomes second nature. Plus, it's a safe space to experiment. If you stumble over a word or forget what to say, no one's there to judge you. Just laugh it off and keep going. For instance, let's say you're pretending to call a friend about a movie you watched. You could say, "Hey, have you seen that new movie everyone's talking about? I watched it last night and it was so good." Then imagine their response and reply. "Yeah, the acting was amazing. I cried at the end. It was so emotional." See how easy it is? You're not just repeating phrases, you're creating a full conversation. Over time, this will help you feel more comfortable speaking English in real-life situations. So, Here's your challenge for this step. Pretend you're on a phone call with a friend. Walk around the room, talk out loud, and practice different types of conversations, casual chats, making plans, or even formal discussions. Don't worry about being perfect. Just focus on sounding natural and confident. The more you practice, the easier it will feel when you're actually speaking to someone in English. First up, label your world. Grab some sticky notes and write down the names of everything around you. Mirror, door, pillow, laptop, toothbrush. Stick them on each item, and every time you touch it, say the word out loud in English. For example, door, I open the door. Pillow, this is my favorite pillow. This simple habit builds your vocabulary in context, and before you know it, your brain will instantly recall the English word whenever you see the object. It's like creating a real-life dictionary all around you. And don't stop at nouns, add adjectives too. For example, laptop, my laptop is fast. Mirror, I look happy in the mirror today. This technique keeps your practice fresh and fun while helping you connect words to their real-world meanings. Reading aloud. Next, try reading aloud. Pick a short paragraph from a book or an article online and read it out loud. Feel free to exaggerate your expression, play with your tone, and even act out the characters if you want. For example, let's say you're reading about a chef cooking dinner. The chef carefully chopped the onions, making sure not to burn them. Then, he added a pinch of salt and stirred the pot gently. As you read, focus on pronunciation and clarity. If you stumble on a word, slow down, sound it out, and then say the whole sentence again. Consistency here leads to smoother, clearer speech over time. This exercise also helps you internalize sentence structures and natural phrases. You'll start noticing how native speakers construct sentences, which will make your own speaking more fluent. Video summaries. Another great exercise is creating video summaries. Watch a short clip, a cooking tutorial, a travel vlog, or a TED Talk, and then pause and retell everything you just saw in English using full sentences. For example, after watching a cooking video, you might say, "The chef added eggs to the bowl and whisked them until fluffy. Then she poured the mixture into a pan and cooked it on low heat." This exercise combines listening comprehension and speaking all in one. It trains your brain to process information quickly and express it naturally in English. You can also try summarizing scenes from movies or TV shows. For instance, in this scene, the main character meets her friend at a cafe. They talk about their plans for the weekend. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to think and speak in English without translating. One of my favorites is role-playing scenarios. Practice real-life situations like ordering food at a restaurant, booking a hotel room, or attending a job interview. Walk around the room and speak as if there's a real person on the other end. For example, pretend you're ordering food. "Hi, I'd like to order a large pizza with extra cheese, please." Then switch roles and respond as the staff. "Sure, would you like anything else with that?" This builds situational fluency and prepares you for real-world conversations. You can even record yourself doing both parts and focus on varying your voice for each character. When you listen back, notice where you can improve your intonation or pacing. And don't limit yourself to everyday situations. Get creative. Pretend you're a detective solving a mystery or a tour guide showing people around a city. The possibilities are endless, and it's a fun way to practice speaking. Feeling adventurous? Try mimicking different accents: American, Australian, Scottish, or even Irish. This is such a fun way to explore the rhythm and melody of English. Watch interviews or videos featuring speakers with the accent you want to mimic. Pause and repeat what they say. copying their tone, speed, and pauses. Don't aim for perfection. This is about tuning your ear to different speech patterns. For example, if you're practicing an American accent, you might say, "Hey, how are you doing?" Or if you're trying an Australian accent, "G'day, mate, how's it going?" After a while, you'll find your own natural accent style. This exercise also makes you more adaptable when speaking with people from different regions. These bonus techniques are designed to keep your practice fresh, engaging, and effective. Whether you're labeling objects, reading aloud, summarizing videos, role-playing, or exploring accents, each method adds a new layer to your fluency journey. And remember, the key is consistency, not perfection. Now, let's move on to some mindset shifts and progress tracking tips that will help you stay motivated and measure your growth along the way. Let's talk about mindset, because it's one of the most important pieces of this journey. The biggest roadblock most learners face isn't pronunciation or vocabulary, it's self-doubt. That little voice inside your head that says, "I can't do this," or "I sound silly," or "I'll never be as good as a native speaker." When that voice shows up, and trust me, it will, I want you to pause and say to yourself, "I don't need to be perfect, I just need to keep going." Every time you push through that little burst of fear, you're rewiring your brain to see progress instead of problems. You're teaching yourself that action is more powerful than doubt. And over time, those small actions will lead to big results. One powerful trick I use every day is a pre-speaking ritual. Think of it like a mini pep talk before you hit record or start talking to your mirror. Here's what I always do. First, I take a deep breath. Then, I smile at myself, even if it feels forced at first. And finally, I remind myself of one win from yesterday. For example, yesterday, I spoke for a full minute without translating. That tiny reminder gives me the courage to try again today. You can create your own ritual, something simple and meaningful to you. Maybe it's listening to an inspiring song, saying an affirmation, or just giving yourself a quick pat on the back. Whatever it is, make it part of your routine. It'll help you show up consistently and with confidence. Next, let's talk about tracking your progress. When you practice alone, it's easy to feel like you're stuck in a loop of the same mistakes. So here's what I suggest. Keep a simple voice log. You can use Google Sheets, a notebook, or even the Notes app on your phone. Every time you record yourself, whether it's a spoken diary entry, a shadowing exercise, or a pretend phone call, note down 3 things. One thing you did well. One thing you want to improve. One new word or phrase you learned. For example, after recording a spoken diary, you might write, "Did well, spoke clearly without pausing too much." Improve. Work on using more descriptive adjectives. New phrase, "I'm grateful for." Now, I want to challenge you with something exciting. An English immersion day. Right in your home. Dedicate 1 day a week or even half a day to speaking only English. Narrate your actions. Think in English. And immerse yourself fully. For example, "I'm making tea. I added sugar and stirred it gently." "It's raining outside. I love the sound of raindrops on the window." "I'm folding my clothes. This shirt is my favorite color." The goal is to turn everything you do into an English-speaking opportunity. It might feel intense at first, but trust me, it's like taking a mini trip to an English-speaking country without leaving your room. By the end of the day, you'll feel energized, brimming with new phrases, and proud of how much you've practiced. And don't worry if you slip up and switch to your native language. It's all part of the process. Just gently bring yourself back to English whenever you notice. Over time, these immersion days will build fluency faster than you ever imagined. Finally, let's talk about celebration rituals because every milestone deserves recognition. Whether it's your first 5-minute diary, your first successful shadowing session, or your first public audio post, treat yourself to something nice. It could be a special coffee, a favorite snack, or a short break to watch an episode of your favorite English series with subtitles. These positive reinforcements build a cycle of motivation that keeps you coming back for more. Remember, consistency and kindness toward yourself are key. Thank you so much for being here today. Until next time, keep speaking, keep growing, and most importantly, believe in yourself. Bye for now.